Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Mother Hustler Zoom. Let's go ahead and get started this morning by sending our birthday messages on Facebook. So open up your Facebook app and you should have a notification this morning of everybody whose birthday is today. So one thing that we can do every day just to stay consistent and help grow our personal business is just to send people a personal message wishing them a happy birthday. So it works with the Facebook algorithms where you start seeing more of their posts, they start seeing more of your post. And also, who doesn't like getting a message on their birthday? Just makes them feel good, getting to wish them a happy birthday. So let's take a couple minutes to send these birthday messages and then we'll get started on our audiobook for today. Okay, hopefully you had some time to go through your Facebook list of your birthdays today and send everybody a personal message wishing them a happy birthday. Don't be surprised if a few of those people come back, maybe in a month, a couple months, and ask you a question or something about Thrive, just because you're going to be staying consistent on your posts and on your stories, and they will be watching. So, I'm gonna start this audio. This is called Money Mindset by Brian Carruthers. He's a network marketing expert. He's been in the industry for over 20 years and kind of went on to share his tips and his success in the industry. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play and we will get started.
Hello and welcome. I hope you're having a great day today. This is Brian Carruthers, and I want to welcome you to this special training on wealth building, which is a supplement to my book, Money Mindset. I hope today to be able to change your mind, because if you can change your mind, you can change your bank account. And what I want to do today is talk with you. So this is not going to be a formal speech, but I want to help you to discover some things in your thinking about money and about debt and about wealth. And I hope that I can help you to deprogram some things and then also to program some things into your mind, because I believe that your mindset is going to drive your actions, and your actions are what's going to determine your results. And so if you're always wanting to get ahead, you want to be able to change your financial situation, you want to become wealthy, you want to be able to live the richer lifestyle. Well, the reality is we've got to actually draw it all the way back down to the beginning, the foundation that you're operating from every single day. It's not about working harder. It's not even really about working smarter. It's about having the right mindset about money to begin with. Now, let me start off by simply sharing with you why you should be listening to me today. I'll tell you, a lot of the information that I've actually deduced over my last 20 years of being a student to wealth building, I've had a chance to learn from some pretty incredible mentors. And so I'm passing that information along to you. Things that I've learned along the way, I've actually been able to use in my own life. I've gotten great results. So number one, you can just measure whether you should listen to me by my results. The fact that I've not only made millions, but I've actually I put overalls on my money and had my money multiplying. So I've actually gotten results based on what I'm going to share with you right now. But it's because I've had great mentors. Number one, my father. My father built one of the largest real estate companies on the East Coast back in the 70s. He started a couple banks, had a furniture company. So my dad was an incredible, and still is, an incredible entrepreneur. I had a chance to watch him and just learning through osmosis. And it wasn't just that he was great at making money and building businesses, but his mindset about money, how he acted about money. I was able to learn how to be frugal, but at the same time, live a very incredible lifestyle without having to be all fancy and flashy and throwing money around like some of the obnoxious type people that have money. And then, secondly, my mentor, Paul J. Meyer, who passed away a few short years ago. But here's somebody who actually earned over $1 billion. So learning from a billionaire, somebody who understood the principles about money. And he always said that all the money that he made in his life was God's by right of creation, and that he was nothing more than a temporary custodian of that money while he was living here on earth. And his goal was to make as much money as he could, to be able to have as much impact as he could, to be able to give it all away before he died. And he gave over $400 million away to charity while he was living, and his estate and his trust continues to give every single day as his legacy. And so having the information that I have to share with you today, it's an honor. To whom much is given, much is expected. So what I ask that you do on the outset here is decide that you're going to learn as a student this information, and you're going to apply it in your life. And when, not if, but when you start making a whole lot of money in your life and you start building wealth, I just simply ask that you remember, to whom much is given, much is expected. You want to go out and bless others with the blessings that you're going to attract into your life right now. So let's talk about this. Why is it that we need to be focused on making money? Okay. Well, first of all, the reality is a lot of people, unfortunately, have been repelling money versus attracting money their entire lives. What do I mean? If you've been brought up in a household, or you've gone to church, or you've had your parents or your grandparents say things like, money is the root of all evil, or the love of money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy, or they're bad, they're going to a bad place. They take advantage of people, they make money off of others. When you hear those kind of things, you probably in your mind deem money as an evil, as a bad thing. And because of that, unconsciously, you've been repelling money all your life instead of attracting it. Just like if you ingest poison into your body knows without even thinking about it consciously, your body knows to throw it up or expel that from your body so that you won't get sick and die. So just like, trying to get rid of poison, something that's bad to your body, your mind is probably trying to get rid of money because you deem it as something that's dirty or evil or not good. Now, of course, that's kind of in contradiction to what you are consciously thinking about every single day. You've got bills, you've got responsibilities, you've got a cost of living. So you have to go work all day long to go make money. So you're out there working hard to get it. But why is it that you can't keep it? It's because you're getting it for the simple fact that you know that you need it to spend on the things that you need. But the reality is, because of that, you're earning the money, you're spending it, and you're blowing whatever's left over. And here's why. See, you whatever you focus on, you get. And here's what I mean by this. Wealth is basically a measurement of time. The word rich is more of an adjective. That person's rich. That person, it's an adjective describing that person, probably how they're living in a rich state of being. But wealth is a noun. It's a measurement of time. And it basically measures how much money that you've got to be able to afford to continue to live the lifestyle that you're living before you run out of money. For example, if you have $100,000 in the bank, so you've got a net worth of $100,000, and your cost of living is $5,000 a month. That means you've got enough money to live right now without earning any more. You've got enough money to live 20 months until you're out on the street with nothing left. So would you feel wealthy? Do you feel wealthy if you had 20 months of money saved up? Probably not. You're thinking, man, that's a year and a half. I don't feel very secure. But what if you had $1 million and your cost of living was $5,000 a month? So when you have 200 months, which is what? That's, what, 16 years, whatever the case is. Would you feel wealthy then? Well, if you're 40 years old and you had 16 years worth of wealth build up, you probably plan on living past 56. So you probably feel a little bit more secure, but not totally secure, because at some point you will still run out of money. So our goal in life, one of our basic human drives, is to feel in control, to feel secure, to make sure that you've got all your I's dotted and T's crossed, and that you've got your financial resources to be able to live a financially independent life. So from that standpoint, our goal with this training is to teach you not how to just make money. If you're in the network marketing profession, you're learning how to sell a product and recruit salespeople and build a team and build a business. You're learning some business building skills, and you're doing the activities to build up this cash flow. What are you going to do with that cash flow? Our goal is not just to make money. Our goal is to make the money, to keep the money, pay as little taxes as we can. Okay, still legally pay the taxes we're supposed to, but keep as much as we can, put overalls on that money, and have it go to work for us. Or I've heard this on TV before, I want to send my money out into the world and have it come back with friends. So the name of the game is to build wealth, not just to make an income. So how do we do that? Well, first and foremost, let's explain why. Okay, we understand that you got to stop repelling money and start attracting money. Let me actually dive into that just another further minute. When you understand that you probably have been repelling money, let me correct that right now. First and foremost, say right now out loud, I love money. I love money. How does it sound? Does it feel uncomfortable saying that? For most people, it does. But the reason why is because you've been conditioned and programmed that it's not good to love money, that money is evil, right? So, but when you start attaching your love for money, not to the money itself, not for having hoards of gold or stacks of money in a safe or a bank account, it's about what money can do. See, if you had somebody in your household that got very sick and they needed $100,000 to go get some medical treatment out of the country, what if you didn't have that kind of money? How would you feel? You feel helpless. But how great wouldn't you love to be able to tell that family member, hey, we're going to send you over there. We're going to save your life. Here's the check. Let's get this done. Wouldn't you love that? Wouldn't you love if you had children that you wanted to put into a better school, a private school in your community, but it costs $20,000 a year to put them in this private school? How much would you love to be able to look your child in the eye and say, hey, honey, your education, you mean the world to me. And I want you to go to the best school, and we're going to put you in the school. We don't have to worry about what it's going to cost. How much would you love to do that? Or how much would you love? Look, you go to church on Sunday or whatever day you go to church, and you know that the church is having some hard times, and they're possibly having to cancel this mission trip or this community outreach where they're feeding the homeless in the neighborhood for the holidays, whatever the case is. But they need money. I mean, their budget is off by like $8,000. They're not going to be able to afford to do it. How much would you love to call your pastor on Monday morning and say, hey, I noticed that you're behind budget, and I want to be able to see what I can do to help here. Can I come meet with you? And you walk into the pastor's office, you sit down, and you pull up out of your portfolio a check. You put it on his desk and say, hey, let's get this done. And you give him a check for $8,000. How much would you just love to be able to do that? See, that's what I'm talking about. I love money for what it does, what we can do with it. See, money, if you make a lot of money, it's going to make you more of what you already are. If you're a jerk, you're going to be a bigger jerk. If you're a helpful or caring person, you're going to be able to be even more caring and more helpful. So attach your mindset about money to the goodness, to loving what it can do. Stop repelling it, start attracting it, and decide to work for money for the right reasons. You want to work for building wealth rather than servicing debt. It's the debt versus wealth kind of tug of war. Look, here's the thing. If your cost of living is $5,000 a month and you make $6,000 a month in income, if all you're doing is working to pay your debts, you're going to make the 6, you're going to pay the 5, and you're going to blow the extra 1,000. Why? Because in your mind, you're working all month long to pay your bills, and the extra 1,000 was simply that. It was extra. So you're going to go out and do what? You're going to go out and have fun. You're going to go out to dinner. You're going to take the kids to do this, or you're going to go out and buy new shoes. You're going to go out and blow it. Why? Because it's extra. But a person that's got a wealth building mindset, that person's going to look at it differently. All month long, they're working not to service their debt, but they're working to build their wealth. So they make 6, the 5 gets carved off right off the top to pay the bills, but the extra 1,000 is not extra to blow. It's going to be already earmarked to go towards their wealth building, to their wealth investment account. And so every single month, imagine if you had $5,000 that were paid in your bills, and out of your $6,000 in income, you had that $1,000 is going to your wealth. That's $12,000 a year that you can use to be able to get ahead and build your financial independence. I think that's very, very important for us because, look, the law of attraction basically means you're going to get more of what you focus on. If you focus on debt, you'll get more debt. You might say, well, no, I'm not focused on debt to have more of it. I'm focusing on getting rid of my debt. I would simply say, being debt-free is the new Lamborghini. I personally think it would be a better feeling to be debt-free than to have a Lamborghini in your garage. Because I've got nice cars. I know it can make you feel nice to have those and fun to drive and all that. But I believe that for everyone, we need to focus on getting debt-free. Okay, but let's just make the decision that we're going to get you debt-free. And then from that point, let's stop talking about debt, even debt-free. Because again, if you're thinking about debt all the time, you're going to be attracting more of that. So yes, you want to go debt-free, which means you got to get rid of the debt. But if you can actually make your income, you focus on making the money and building wealth, and the debt that gets serviced out of that automatically, your bills get automatically paid. Your mortgage, your car payment, just have that automatically coming out of your income. Have it come out of your check right out of the gate, so you don't ever have to think about that debt that's being serviced. And so that way, you're focusing on wealth always. You're focusing on the positive, not the negative. Because again, the law of attraction, you're going to attract what you think about. Now, why is it that I believe that every one of us needs to have a wake-up call? We have to have a checkup from the neck up, and we've got to get flat out serious about making more money and about getting ahead and about becoming wealthy. Because frankly, you might say, well, this is a little over the top. I don't normally talk about money like this, so this is a little bit uncomfortable for me. You want to talk about being uncomfortable. Let me share with you how that uncomfortable feeling is going to feel later on if you don't start getting out of your comfort zone right now. Let's say that you decide that you want to retire at 65 years old. And let's say that you're a nice enough person that you still have a spouse that's with you. And so there's two of you, okay? So there's two of you, and you retire at 65, and let's say you're planning on living until 85. Now, of course, with technology and medicine and so forth, you might live a lot longer than that, but let's just be conservative. You're gonna live 20 more years. Now, let's say that you also plan on eating 3 times a day. And you're not going to be eating out at Ruth's Chris or some fancy steakhouse. You're going to be eating 3 $7 meals a day. Again, conservative. And let's say you also think it would be nice to eat every day. Okay, you want to eat every day 3 meals a day. So think about this. There's 2 people, so that's 2 times $7 per meal times 3 times a day that you're going to eat times 365 days per year times 20 years equals $306,600. Over $306,000 that you're going to need to have in minimum in cash and liquid money when you retire at 65, assuming you're not earning any more money, you've retired, you've got no more cash flow coming in, you're going to need to have $306,000 just to eat 3 $7 meals a day. So we're not talking about being able to go out and eat out at a restaurant. We're not talking about having extra money to be able to buy Christmas presents for the grandkids, or to be able to go get a new pair of shoes, or to put gas in your gas tank, or to pay your electric bill, or your insurance, or anything else. That's just 3 $7 meals a day. You've got to have $306,000 sitting there. And let me ask you a question. Knowing that, how much do you have right now liquid? I mean, what number do you have right now in your bank account? If I said, how much could you write a check for right now without it bouncing? What would that number be? Write that number down. Or if you're driving right now, don't write it, but think about it. Is it $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000? Is it $500? What is that number relative to that 306,000, right? That's just the beginning of why we need to start thinking about this. I think that there's a lot of people that think that the government's going to take care of them, or their family members are going to take care of them. Well, that's not going to give you peace of mind. That's not going to give you the peace of spirit, knowing that you're going to count on somebody else externally to take care of you. We want to be self-sufficient people. We want to feel in control. So I would encourage you to really ramp up your earning power with your network marketing business. Okay, if you have a job and you're working network marketing part-time, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But work hard, give it all you got in whatever time you can devote to your network marketing business. Get as much income coming in as you possibly can. And then guess what? Allocate every dollar from your job and from your own business towards your wealth building process. Now let's address something here. Look, if you want to lose weight, you can do 2 things. You can eat less, or you can work out more. Okay? Eat less or work out. But what if you want to lose weight twice as fast? Well, and so why does it have to be or? Why don't you eat less and work out more? Or eat well and work out more? You'll get there twice as fast. Well, if you want to build wealth and you need money to attract and invest and so forth, how are you going to build wealth? Well, you either spend less or earn more. But what if you earn more and you spend less? Do both at the same time. So yes, we can talk about what you can do to earn more money, and you're probably already working on that. But what if you can also kind of rein in the spending? Let's talk about that. Because people say, well, I've got some extra, I get some disposable income. Well, I don't think there's a such thing. If you're trying to build wealth, there is no such thing as disposable income. See, look, there's something I would consider the opportunity cost of anything that you do. Anything. So, for example, let's say you want to go buy a television, a new television, okay? And that television is going to cost you $1,500. Well, in investing, in the investment world, is something called the rule of 7. The rule of 7 basically means that your money, if compounded at a 10% interest rate, compounded over a 7-year period, it'll double every 7 years. So again, your money will double every 7 years if you have a compounded interest rate of 10%, which is, by the way, the S&P index's annual rate of return on average over the last 50 years. So thinking about that. That cost of that television is not $1,500. Yes, that's what it's going to cost you today, but the opportunity cost 10 years from now, that $1,500 would have and could have been turned into $4,000. So the TV is not costing you $1,500. Yes, cash out of pocket is $1,500, but it's costing you from your financial future 10 years out from now $4,000. Think about that. A first class upgrade for a seat on an airplane. What if it cost you an extra $500 to fly first class? Okay, $500 is what's going to cost you cash out of pocket right now. But 10 years from now, that's almost 1,300 bucks. So is it worth it? You got to ask yourself the question, when I'm spending my money, is it worth what it's costing my financial future? A pack of gum. Give you this a very small example. A pack of gum that costs you $1.50 today. Okay, you're going to buy it, you're going to chew it, you're going to spit it out, and it's gone. But that $1.50, 10 years from now, is almost $4. So if you walked into a grocery store or a convenience store and you saw a pack of gum and you saw the cost, the price tag said $4, would you still buy it, or would you say, forget that, you throw it back down, you storm out of the store? I'm sure you wouldn't buy it. There's no way you would. But because you're not thinking about what it costs you in the future, you're only thinking about the here and now, the today, you'll drop $1.50 and you'll chew the gum and you won't think anything of it. So hopefully, again, we're deprogramming and we're programming right now a different way to think about money. Now, if you truly understood what compound interest or what compound returns can actually do, I think you would find different ways to be able to actually save more money, stop spending as much, and allocate that money towards your financial future, towards investing. I'm going to give you an example. I've got a chart in my hand right here, and I found different ways to point out the things, point out to people things that we are spending money on that we might draw back on. We stop spending money and we redirect that money towards our investments. For example, do you really need to spend $5 for a cup of coffee at a Starbucks? Or do you really need to spend that extra $10 for that cocktail when you're out at a bar or a restaurant and it's getting late, you're getting ready to leave? Okay, you don't need the extra drink, especially when you're getting ready to go home. People go out to drink socially. It takes the edge off. It makes you more social and so forth. I understand why people like to have a beverage or two, but do you need that extra? That last one that you bought, did you need that one? Well, look, here's the thing. You probably weren't thinking. You probably loose as a goose and you're having fun and you're like, hey, I'll have another one. But thank you guys. That $10 that you dropped on that drink, okay? $8 plus a tip or $10, $12, whatever it is. What if you, instead of wasting that $10, what if you invested it? Or your a pack of cigarettes is what, $5, $6, $7 for a pack of cigarettes? What if you were able to do something healthy and slow down or quit smoking and allocate that money towards your future? Or cable TV. Do you really need to spend $50, $60, some people $80 a month for cable TV? Do you really need all those upgraded channels? I would say that you probably would be better off watching less TV and reading more books and doing more other activities and building your business and so forth. And by the way, I love TV. So I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like you're bad people by watching TV. I watch TV too, but I don't have all the upgrades. And look, I'm worth millions of dollars. I can afford at this point. I've paid the price, so I can afford to do that now. And I've got a few channels. But here's the thing: what if you actually spent $30 a month on cable instead of $70 a month on cable? Well, how you can allocate that? Check this out. If you found $5 a day that you're spending on other things that you actually can just redirect that spending $5 a day towards your investing, that $5 a day would turn into 10 years from now $30,982. In 20 years, it would be almost $115,000. In 30 years, $341,000, and in 40 years, $956,000. Just $5 a day. You could be almost a millionaire. $5 a day. You can find that right now out of your existing income. Okay. Now, what if you did $10 a day? Find $10 a day. Find a way to just invest $300 a month. Okay, out of your job income, out of your side business income, but $300 a month. In 10 years, that's almost $62,000. In 20 years, it's $229,700. In 30 years, it's $683,000. And in 40 years, it's $1,913,000. $10 a day. When people say, well, I'm not doing that well in my network marketing business, I'm only making an extra $500 a month, an extra $300 a month can turn you into a millionaire if you do the right things with it. $20 a day. In 10 years, it's $123,000. 20 years is $459,000. 30 years, $1.36 million. And in 40 years, $3.8 million. $50 a day. That's an extra $1,500 a month. What would you do with an extra $1,500 a month? Well, some people would blow it. But what if you actually compounded it? $1,500 a month, $50 a day. In 10 years, it's 309,000. 20 years, 1.14 million. In 30 years, 3.4 million. And in 40 years, 9,565,000 bucks. 9 million. $100 a day. $3,000 a month. What would that do for you? Check this out. $3,000 a month. In 10 years, 619,000. 20 years, 2.3 million. 30 years, 6.8 million. 40 years, 19.1 million. So when somebody says, well, I don't believe that I'm ever going to be able to become a millionaire, again, we have to deprogram that stinking thinking. Somebody taught you that you couldn't become a millionaire, probably because they didn't become a millionaire. They were basically servicing debt their whole life. Money was evil to them. They were spending all the money they were making. They weren't focused on building wealth. They never listened to a CD like this. They never read a book about it. They weren't educated. So again, you can listen, you can follow the path that you've already been following, listening to people you've always listened to, or you can find better mentors, people that have already gotten there, that are willing to turn around and say, hey, follow me. I became wealthy. I can show you how to do the same thing. That's what I'm trying to do for you all here. So now let's talk about how to set this up. What is your path? Okay. Here's what I believe your path is. Okay. You've got to decide that you're going to make this a system. You got to be systematic about it. What I mean by that, right now, how many bank accounts do you have? Or the other way to phrase that question, do you have a wealth building account right now? Meaning you've got your bank account that you have your money going in, and then you pay your bills out of it, and you live out of the bank account. You go to the ATM machine, you pull cash out, and you cash, it's all coming out of that account. That's your living operating account. We all should have one of those, of course. Probably everybody does. But you need to have a second account for your wealth building. And all the money that we're talking about, you're going to be investing for your financial future, you're going to put into that separate account, and you don't live out of it. You don't pay your bills out of it. You don't use it for a rainy day fund. When your car breaks down, it doesn't come out of that. That comes out of your operating account. Your wealth account, you're going to put money in, and you're not going to touch it. It's only going to be used to invest and to grow and to solidify your financial future. Okay? So decide right now that you're going to, this week, like today, or if it's late, do it tomorrow, go find a bank that's going to be your wealth building account. And what I would do is find a bank that has a decent, now, depending on when you're listening to this, the interest rates that banks are paying is almost nothing, but you can find some banks are paying 0.25% or 0.5% better interest than others. So find a good bank that's got a good online banking system that pays some interest. Okay, a lot of your income that you're going to grow and build is not going to come from interest. It's going to be coming from investing in bonds and stocks and other things. But you want to have a money market account that's generating some interest for you, for the cash that's sitting there waiting to be deployed. Okay, so you want to do that. But you also want to pick a bank that's going to allow you to pay yourself first, set up on an automatic basis. Here's what I mean. You got to be willing to pay yourself first 10% of every dollar that you make. 10% off the top immediately comes out of your paycheck, immediately comes out of your commissions check from your network marketing business, and it goes right into your bank account, into your wealth account. So 90% goes into your operating account and 10% goes into your wealth building account. Now, some companies that you work for, maybe your employer or maybe your marketing company, maybe they have it set up already where you can have it automatically carving off a certain percentage to go into a different account. So they can pay some over here and some over here. Now, if your company or your employer does not have that ability, then make sure that your bank will have that ability so that when your money comes in, a percentage gets carved off the top and goes over to that separate wealth building account. My advice to you is start off at a minimum of 10% off the top goes to you. I read a great book years ago called The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. And it talked about paying yourself first. I mean, who's more important to you, you or the people you owe money to? I mean, look, if you might say, well, I don't know how you're expecting me to do that. I can't even pay my bills on 100% of my income. And now you want me to pay my bills out of 90% and put 10% off to the side? Look, you're going to have the same struggle on 90% or 100%. But who's more important to you, you and your family, or the bills, the debt collectors, or the people you owe money to? I'm not saying that you're not going to pay who you owe. You absolutely should. I don't believe in running away from debt and not making good on promises that you made when somebody gave you money that you wanted to borrow. Of course you pay them back. But you got to pay yourself first and then get to them secondarily. Okay, so 10% off the top goes in your bank account, and your wealth account. The second 10%, you're going to give it away. Now, you might say, whoa, no way. I'll do the 10% to myself, but I can't afford to give away 10%. Well, Paul J. Meyer taught me this. He said, you've got to be willing to have your money have much more meaning than just about you. Because if you go out there and just do things for you, you're not going to be living a congruent life. If you say that you want to serve the world, you say that you want to help people, but you're going to wait until you hit some certain threshold of, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm a billionaire, I've got all this money, now I'm going to go out and start helping people, then you're not getting the universe to align with you towards your quest for these goals from the get-go. Don't wait until you achieve the ultimate pinnacle of success first and then start being a help to the world. Do it every step along the way. It's going to give rocket fuel to your gas tank. So you pay yourself 10% first, and you give away 10%. That could be tithing more at church. It could be giving to a nonprofit or a charitable organization that's near and dear to your heart. I promise you, when you start being a giver, okay, when you become a giver, not because you're giving because you're thinking, oh, if I do what he says, if I give, more will come back to me. Don't give to get. Give for the sake of giving. But what Paul Meyer found and what he taught me is the more you give, the more the universe sends it back to you, sometimes even tenfold. And I watched it happen in his life. The more he gave away, the more money he made, and he had a hard time getting rid of his money before he passed away. That's the power of what I'm talking about here. Pay yourself first, 10%. Give away 10% and live off the other 80. Now, let's talk about this. What are you going to do with that first 10% that you're putting away for yourself? Well, I really do believe that we can do all kinds of things, investing and so forth, that's going to be able to grow that money. Actually, you know what? Before that, let me backtrack here. Let's talk about this because you've got debt. How are you going to be able to structure your present finances, and how do you attack this first? Well, I believe that there's good debt and there's bad debt. So what I would encourage you to do is today or tonight, go home and figure out who all you owe money to. Take all your bills, all your debts, and lay them out on your kitchen table. And start from left to right, go from the highest interest rate down to the lowest interest rate. So your highest interest rate might be a credit card or credit cards, and then it might be student loans, and then it might be your car payment, and then it might be your mortgage, okay? That's usually the kind of the descending nature there. So if you have a credit card payment that's at 14% and you have a mortgage payment that's at 4%, what should you pay off first? Of course, pay off the highest interest rate first, because that's what's costing you the most money. So if you've got money that you can pay your debt down, you've got to get rid of the debt. Debt-free is the new Lamborghini. Let's not talk about going out and getting all kinds of fancy things and trappings of success until you actually get debt as an issue out of the way in life. So if you've got $10,000 in credit card debt, well, the first 10% that you're going to put away, pay that debt down first, okay? So that's that 90% you're living off of, that's fine. But that 10% that I'm asking you to put away, before it goes into a wealth account that you're going to use to go out and invest, let's get rid of this anchor that's around your this anchor that's attached to your ankle that's weighing you down. That 14% debt, let's get rid of that. And then let's go down to your debt, your student loans, which is probably in the single digits. And then maybe you got a car payment that's maybe 6% or 7%. Let's get those paid off first. And then we can worry about talking about your mortgage. Somebody might say, I want to own my house outright. Well, I believe some debt is good debt. Let me tell you why. Your mortgage payment, the good thing about your mortgage is that the government is subsidizing it. Depending on what country that you live in that you're listening to, but here in the United States, Uncle Sam, our government, actually will allow you to write off part of your mortgage payment, that interest that you're paying, especially as a home-based business owner, that house payment that you're living in, you've got a home office expense that's going to be kind of deducted from what you're spending on the house payment. But here's what else I want you to think about. If you can, assume that you can find investment strategies that would net you, let's say you're not even doing 10%, okay? Let's say you can get 8% return on your investments, whether it be from buying some index funds or stocks or bonds or whatever you invest in, okay? 8% return. If you can get 8% on your money, and your home, your mortgage payment is only costing you 4%, why would you pay off your home and get rid of that tax advantage? But also, why would you pay off 4%? I would rather keep a mortgage on my house, which right now I've got $1 million mortgage on the house I'm standing in right now. I have $1 million mortgage on this. Why do I have it? People say, well, you must not be doing that well if you owe on your house. No, because my interest rate on my house is 3.5%. I would rather take that $1 million and go out and invest it and get 8%, and I get to keep that delta. So if I'm paying 3.5% of my mortgage and I can get 8% over there, that 4.5% difference, I'm profiting. That's just called smart business. That's called good debt versus bad debt. If I can get 8% in the market and I got a credit card that's cost me 14%, of course it would be stupid to actually invest that money at 8% when I should be paying off the 14% first. Hopefully that makes sense. So there's good debt versus bad debt. Now, maybe a couple other ideas. I would encourage you to figure out how you can get buy-in. Because if you're talking about spending less, you're going to have to deal with maybe a spouse or children or people that are counting on you that are relying on this money we're talking about. So what I would encourage you to do is have a conversation. Get everybody to read the Money Mindset book in your family. Get everybody to listen to the CD right now. Get them to understand, hey guys, our goal is to be financially free. Our goal is to be wealthy. Do you all want to be wealthy? Of course, yeah, we do. Okay, great. Well, here's the thing. We have to pay a price. We have to step up to the counter of success or wealth building and pay full retail. You know, freedom is not free. We have to give up to go up. We have to give up some things right now so that we can go do much better things later on. For example, we have to give up maybe going to the football games this season and just rather watch them on TV at home, so that a couple years from now, after we've invested that money from those tickets, we can have box seats later on. See? So if you can figure out a way to get buy-in from the people around you, from your family members, you can say, hey, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to save money, and once we get our wealth account up to this certain plateau or the certain threshold, at that point, we're going to go to Disney World. So let's say we get our wealth building up to $50,000 in our wealth account. That's where our net worth just built up $50,000 bucks. We're going to take $5,000 and we're going to go to Disney World. See, that's almost like an investment into your wealth building process. That's not like blowing your money. That's an incentive used to create this buy-in for everyone to help with the wealth building to occur. So I hope that you guys understand you can get very creative by utilizing those incentives, financial incentives or trips or whatever it is that you can, whatever is important to your kids, whatever is important to your spouse. You might say to your spouse, hey, honey, I know that you have been wanting a new pair of shoes, but hey, once we've added another $3,000 to our wealth account, then you can take $150 and go buy those shoes that you want. And I'll go out and buy that new golf club I want. You see what I'm saying? So definitely work on getting buy-in from everyone involved. Now let's talk about a few things here that's important. So you're making money and you got the right mindset. You're wanting to keep the money. You're not spending as much anymore, and you got this new programming. Okay, how do you keep the money that you make? I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on this audio right now. And again, we've got a lot more detail about this in the Money Mindset book. So you can go to moneymindsetbook.com and study that. But there's ways that you can, as an entrepreneur, see, if you're an employee, okay, Uncle Sam, the government takes your tax money first, and then you get whatever's left over. They tax you on your income tax. But as an entrepreneur, a business owner, which we are as network marketers, guess what? Your money comes into you from your company, from your network marketing company. You deduct all your business write-offs and your expenses, and then you pay taxes on the lower amount, the difference. So what happens is you get to keep a lot more money. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that matters most, right? So you got to make sure that you have a CPA or an accountant that understands how home-based business taxes work, so they know how to give you the right write-offs and the deductions. They also can teach you how to pay your taxes on time, to be ahead of the game, not behind the game. I see a lot of network marketers, unfortunately, they make money all year long, and then the next spring comes around, they're supposed to pay their taxes, and now they're scrambling trying to figure out, oh my gosh, I spent all my money, I don't have my taxes, I owe $9,000, what am I going to do? Or I owe $90,000, what am I going to do? You pay your taxes every quarter, estimated on what you're going to owe the following year. So if you're planning on making $100,000. Okay, and let's say your tax, let's just round it off. Let's say you're in a 30% tax bracket. Well, that means you got to have $30,000 you're going to pay to the government. So if you base that per quarter, that's $7,500 every 3 months. Every quarter, $7,500 that you need to be paying into the IRS. So at the end of the year, you've already paid in the $30,000. And if you happen to have more tax write-offs that you can go against that, you might even be getting a refund that spring from the government. So because you paid extra, you paid even too much, which is fine. So I would encourage you, again, to really get good at being ahead of the game by paying your taxes on time, but also be very vigilant. A dollar saved is a dollar earned. When I go through a toll booth on my way to a business meeting, and it's a $2 toll booth, that toll is $2. You might say, oh, I don't need to keep that receipt. I don't need to write that off. It's only $2. But that's $2. If you're, look, I'm going to, let's say I'm roughly paying 50% taxes, right? That's $1 I just saved. So I paid $2, but I'm writing off the $2, which saves me $1 in pocket in savings. So every single thing that you spend money on that's business related, make sure you track it, make sure your accountant can help you in writing that off against your income. So you want to make sure you do your taxes properly, okay? In the book, we talk about setting a personal budget so you know exactly where you're spending your money so you can track it, because you can't manage what you can't track. You have to be able to inspect what you expect. So you got to be able to track your personal budget. You need to also be able to track your business budget. So in your business, what are you spending money on? You're probably spending money on what? On meetings and gas money and sales tools and DVDs and maybe a conference call line, maybe a convention tickets and maybe incentives where you're running a team contest here and there. You have to track what it is you're spending money on, and you should budget it. You don't want to be spending money just haphazardly and realize that you're spending all your profits. What is your budget going to be? Your promotional budget. Are you going to spend 20% of your income to reinvest back into your business? Is it going to be 30%? If you're in the beginning stages, it might be 70 or 80% that you invest back in your business. It might even be after the 10% gets paid off the top to pay yourself first. It might be the full 90% that goes back into your business, because there's a lot of things that you can invest in. Okay, you can invest your money, number one, back in your business. My mentor years ago in network marketing, somebody who had made millions of dollars and taught me a lot about how to build this business, he said, Brian, you're not going to find a better investment than to invest back in your business. He said, show me where you can go out and invest $100 into a stock or a bond or a real estate piece of property or whatever, where you can take $100 and turn it into $300 this month. I'm like, that's not realistic. He said, yeah, but what if you invested $100 into some DVDs? And you took those DVDs and you went out and recruited from those 100 DVDs that you bought for $100. What if you recruited 3 people? What is that worth to you in the compensation plan? Well, in my compensation plan, let's say that's going to be worth about $600, or actually probably more like $900 to me. Okay, well, you just turned $100 into $900 in a month or so. So that might be probably your best investment you're ever going to find, investing back into your business. So don't be afraid to invest in your business. Look, in network marketing, it's not like a typical franchise or traditional business where you got to spend the franchise money and the startup cost to organize and get incorporated and hire the employees and get your leasehold improvements and your office space and your furniture and hire the staff and get the signage and all that stuff you've got to do before you even start making any money. We don't have that. That's why this network marketing is the ultimate business model where you can actually accomplish all that for almost nothing. I mean, our startup cost, you guys, for most network marketing companies, it's a matter of a few $100 to get started, right? And then you might have some inventory of what? Maybe you got some products that you actually go out and use to demo or whatever. But mostly it's your sales and marketing tools that you want to invest in, because that's what you're going to use to create sales and to recruit people into your business. And that's going to give you the leveraged income. And leveraged income is where, look, I wouldn't do anything else the rest of my life if it didn't have, number one, leverage, and number two, residual income attached to it. Okay. So invest back in your business, invest into yourself. I mean, look, investing in yourself is huge. You've got to be willing to buy the books and the CDs and attend the seminars and go to the events. Invest in yourself, you guys. Charlie Tremendous Jones, one of the greats from the personal development industry, he always said you're going to be the same person 5 years from now as you are today, except for the people that you meet and the books that you read. Are you getting around the right people? That costs money to go to events. It costs money to get to the seminars. It costs money to buy a book. It costs money to buy a CD. But let me ask you a question. I mean, for the little bit of money that you paid to listen to this audio track right now, okay? Do you think that it might have given you the kind of impetus or the change your mindset is now set up to so that you could become a millionaire? Whereas before, I mean, what was that worth to you? If it cost you $10 or whatever it costs to get a CD or $15 or $20 to buy a book, what can that be worth to you? Some people say, "Oh my gosh, your book is $15. You should be, can you sell it to me for 10?" It's like it's the scarcity mindset that holds so many people back. There's an abundant world waiting for you, but you got to be willing to make the investment. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars when I first got into this industry, listening to everything I can get my hands on. And I would get on a plane, I would go somewhere to an event and learn from other people that had what I wanted. So invest in yourself, invest in your business, number one, invest in yourself, number two. Then you can invest in stocks, by picking your own stocks. If there's companies you believe in, investing in index funds, which I think is where people should start. You can invest in bonds, so you can have some predictable, dividend or interest money coming in. You can invest in money market CDs where you've got some a much less risk adverse or a safer sound place to park your money. You can invest in real estate. But by the way, look here, real estate is my whole life. My background prior to network marketing was real estate. I knew real estate very, very well. And I hear people saying, well, I'm going to go out and invest. I'm being a real estate investor. Well, that takes a lot of time, takes a lot of expertise. And, you're subject to market conditions. If you're flipping houses, something goes bad with a contractor or you underestimated and now all your profit margin's gone, or maybe you're buying and holding property like I do. I've got a lot of rental properties. Look, if you don't have a bunch of money built up, in your wealth account, and one of your houses has a hot water heater that breaks, or the air conditioning system, or the roof needs to be replaced, or the driveway's got cracks, guess what? It's going to come out of your pocket, comes out of your bottom line. What if you get caught without it? And say, I'm going to buy no money down. Well, you hear that on TV. That's very dangerous. No money. If you don't have any money, so you're going to go find the no money down deals. What happens if one of these repairs needs to be made? And now you're stuck. Again, you can't pay for the repair, but legally you have to. The tenant can force you to do it. What are you going to do? I mean, you could lose your house. So, you can, by the way, I believe that you should own your house instead of renting your house, unless you're only going to live in a certain place for a year or two. Home ownership is still very important. Now, the real estate market's changed since 2008, and there's more renters than there were back in the day. Look, home ownership is everything. Because you're building equity for you. You're paying rent to somebody else. You're paying off their mortgage, and they're owning the house. They're owning the asset at the end of the day. You got to build your own assets. And a piece of property, depending on who you listen to, whether you think it's an asset or a liability, at the end of the day, you're still building equity. So it might not be a cash flow asset because you're not making money every month from it, but you're still building equity. And at the end of the day, if you buy a house for $400,000, and if it's only worth $400,000 when it's paid off and it didn't even appreciate, you still have a $400,000 asset that you can actually rent out for cash flow, which now becomes an asset to you, or you can sell it and take that money to use it for something. But, a lot of times, predictably, the real estate market typically returns some kind of return on that investment. Usually it will appreciate. Over time, it's typically gone up, not down. So that $400,000 house might become $500,000. But the bottom line is, my point, you're better off owning than renting if you're going to be staying put, okay? Now, there's other things you can invest in. You can, again, go back to Money Mindset, to the book, moneymindsetbook.com. And I've got all kinds of details on how to properly invest your money. But today, my goal was to just get in your head and get you to think about how you've been approaching money. What's your thoughts about it? Were you repelling it, or were you attracting it? And if you weren't attracting it, if you were repelling, let's now decide to say, I love money, okay? And I love what money can do. And I want a lot of it. And I'm gonna change my family. I'm gonna live a better life myself. I'm gonna be in control. I'm gonna be feeling secure. It's gonna affect my relationships better. It's gonna reflect with my spouse or my kids. I'm gonna be a better friend. I'm gonna be able to help more people. I'm gonna be able to give more time and more money to charity. It's gonna be a great thing. Okay, so again, you got the right mindset starting to build. I would encourage you to listen to this over and over again. Get your team together. Listen to this together. Study the book together. Because the last thing I see in network marketing and in businesses in general, I see people learn how to go out there and increase their earnings. And it's one thing to make more money. But if you're still at the end of the day, at the end of the year, still not any further ahead because you're blowing all the money you're making, you're just broke at a higher level. You're not wealthier. You're just living a richer life. And that's not what we want. Okay. I want you to live a rich life if that's what you want, but I want everyone to do what you need to do so that you are sound financially. So when a hard time comes, and they will, there's going to be more recessions, there's going to be more bumps in the road, you're financially prepared. And so that when you're ready to retire, you can enjoy your golden years. You can go play golf, go fishing, go paint and do your hobbies and travel the world, get on a cruise ship and go out to sea for a month. And guess what? You've got the resources to do that. So I hope that today you got some things to think about. I hope that you're going to come back and continue to program yourself. And repetition's a mother of all learning. Keep listening over and over and over again. And I believe that if you do something for 90 days, you listen and you take action. Listen and take action. Do that for 90 days. 90 days can create a habit. Let's make success and wealth building a habit. I hope you have a great day today. I hope you apply this information, and we'll see everybody over the top.
All right, so hopefully you guys love that as much as I did. It's just crazy to me that these are the things that they
Hello and welcome. I hope you're having a great day.
Restarted. It's just crazy to me that these are the things that they don't teach in school, but are the most important, like money mindset. There's no training or anything on that unless you own your own business. And now each of you own your own business. So it's time to start thinking about these things. And a couple of the things that I liked are saving just $5 a day or saving $10 a day. Well, we're all saving $5 a day on the Zoom right now because we are thriving. So we're not stopping for coffee or soda or energy drinks. So we're saving our $5 there, and we're thriving for free with our 2 customers every month. So we're saving that $5 a day. What if you could go above and beyond that and save even $10 a day? What would your future look like at that point? Another thing that stood out to me is most of us on here aren't relying on this for our full-time income. So anything that we are doing with our business is just, more than what we had before we started our business. So, or maybe we are working our business full-time and it goes above and beyond more than what we would make at just a regular 9-to-5 job. So what you have in this business is more than what you had before you started this business. So even if it's an extra $500 a month, did you hear what an extra $500 a month would do for you in 10 years? I think it was, or, in 30 years, that was over $1 million in your savings just by making $500 a month in this business. So it is the little things that add up, and more than what we would have had before we started the business. So I'm glad that we all got to listen to that together. That was just an audio, kind of an introduction or an add-on to his book, Money Mindset. So if you guys are interested, we can totally read this together as a group as well. I'm interested in that. I love this topic, just changing our mindset about money, kind of everything that we've ever taught about money, just different when you own your own business and when you're in control of that. Most people are never in control of it. So real quick, I know we've already gone over our time, but just to focus a little bit on our IPAs, might as well do them together because we got to do them anyway. Just the consistency, at this point, we got to look at ourselves and say, how can I do this? How can I make an extra $500 a month in this business? And the first step is consistency. So let's go to our stories on Facebook or Instagram, one or the other, or both, whatever avenue of social media you like to work, and post at least one of our 3 steps or all of our 3 steps of Thrive on our story. If you haven't done so already, if you have, what are other things that are great for our story? Maybe a testimony, maybe a before and after picture, maybe something inspirational, motivational that has nothing to do with our business. Maybe it's your family. People like to see kind of what you're doing on a daily basis. So any of those things count. Your story is like a snapshot of your day. People become interested and intrigued in what your lifestyle is like. So not only just the product, but your lifestyle that goes along with the way that you're living because of Thrive or Lavelle. So let's take a few minutes to work on our stories. Okay, another thing that we can always be doing in this business to grow our thrivers and the new people that we have thriving with us is not only stay consistent with the people that are already watching and people that we're already friends with and connected with on Facebook and Instagram or social medias, but also finding new people to connect with all the time and expanding our network. So whether you're a Facebook or an Instagram person, let's try to friend at least 5 new people on Facebook or follow at least 5 new people on Instagram. So you can do this a couple of ways. There is a place to go under friends on Facebook to suggested friends, or on Instagram, you can go and search hashtags, you can search locations. And if you join us on these Mother Hustler Zooms, you'll be able to kind of learn more tactics or techniques on how to find new people to expand your network. So make sure you join us for these, because we do work our businesses together, and always learning, always growing. Social media is always changing. So for now, let's friend at least 5 new people. And when you've done that, you are free to go. All right, guys, as soon as this is finished downloading, I will upload it to YouTube. So we have the recording. Thanks for hopping on and joining us this morning. Always fun working the business with you guys. So have a great rest of your Thursday, and we will see you on the next Mother Hustler Zoom. Have a good day, guys. Bye.